r/ask Reddit. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done because your brain was on autopilot? Drove towards my job when my friend asked me to hang out. I've done similar. Had a week or two straight where it was pretty much wake up, go to work, go to bed, repeat. Finally finish the project and have some time off. Wife wants to try a new restaurant for lunch and finally spend time with me. So we pile the kids in the car and go. It just so happens that the first leg of the trip to the restaurant was exactly the same as my commute. So I just went into autopilot. I didn't realize until I was halfway to work and my wife asked where exactly the hell were we going. I normally only see my neighbor when I arrive home from walking my dogs, so I'm holding the dogs on leashes as I greet the old guy next door most times and have to tell the dogs to come along. One day I dropped the dogs off inside my place and headed out to bring the bins in after collection. See the neighbor and exchange greetings as per usual. As we finish I turn to the bin and say, come on, let's go. Did the bin go in? In much the same way as the dogs, with a lot of tugging by me. Started a new job. Got to my old workplace before I realized what I'd done. Not exactly the same, but sometimes if I'm off on a day I usually work and I go to hang with friend or do errands, I find myself taking the same route to get to work. I had made a tea with ginger chunks but found the ginger to be too strong and I wanted them to go. So I grabbed a strainer and proceeded to pour out my tea in the sink with the ginger chunks in the strainer. Took me a second to realize what I've done. I one time spent hours making homemade chicken broth, only to put it through the strainer straight into the sink. I cried after. I did that too. I stared at it, swirling around the drain, smelling so delicious. I didn't make stock again for a long time. I was too upset. Came home with a friend. Started undressing as soon as I closed the door. I've done something similar. I went to take a leak and just like I would when I'm alone didn't bother to close the door. I'm standing there still talking to them and then realize, wait, I'm not alone. I drove to work one morning, promptly forgot, and then took the bus home, leaving my car in the parking lot. I did this with my bike and didn't realize for over a week. Just recently I was talking to my friend and got on a topic about something that I had been looking up on my phone. Started to search for my phone so I could send him the link. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was talking to him while walking from room to room, looking everywhere, checking my pants pockets, looking in the weird random places I've left it before. Eventually I told him I'd send it to him when I found my phone. He reminded me that I was talking to him on my phone. Same thing happened to me. Dude, I can't find my phone. Do you remember if I had it in the car? What are you calling me on? Okay, thanks. Once I was sick and not thinking too well, a package delivery person rang the doorbell. Me, not thinking, got up from the couch, walked up to the door, and knocked on it. Then I opened the door to a mildly confused delivery man and took the package. It wasn't until I had closed the door, box in hand, that I realized my error. I work in healthcare, so I knock before entering a patient room. I can't even count the number of times I have opened the door to a confused waiting room of people after knocking on the waiting room door. Recently I was trying to microwave some popcorn, and instead of putting the popcorn packet in the microwave I put in the plastic wrap and proceeded to press start. I did not realize what I had done wrong until I looked down at the popcorn packet and thought something's not right here. 2 and 2 got put together before anything nasty or disastrous happened. Thankfully. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to put the milk away in the oven and only stopped when I couldn't find the milk shelf. I wanted to refill my cup with more water, so I just poured my already half-filled cup out on the table to make room for more water. I had a similar experience, but it was more like I reached out to grab my cup but my hand had ulterior motives and just slapped the cup over. Hard like water went everywhere. I had no intention to do this, but I did. I dropped a spoon, then apologized to the spoon for dropping it. I apologized to anything I drop just to make sure it still trusts me. I apologize to things sometimes on the off chance that objects actually do come to life when I'm not around, like in Toy Story, so they won't try to do me harm. I got up and took my 3 nighttime meds, 2 sleeping pills and a rather sedating neuromed instead of my morning meds. I had an instant where I thought maybe I could go to work, but then wisdom prevailed and I called in sick. I did the opposite. Morning meds at night. I was ducking wired, so when my alarm went off, I went to work like an idiot. Nothing like taking Dexedrine at night instead of the sedative you literally require to be able to sleep when you have a big test the next day and need that sleep really badly. It was the same as not taking my night meds, but I just felt energetic rather than lethargic all night. See? Scanned a customer's groceries. Removed the dividing bar from my register. Began scanning the next customer's groceries. I once spent too long trying to find the barcode on the dividing bar while scanning. Customer let me figure it out on my own. Couple times a year I'll say love you to a business colleague when ending a phone call. My wife gets a kick out of that. I work front desk at a hotel. The daytime staff work either 7 AM to 3 PM or 3 PM to 11 PM. Sometimes when I'm working the PM shift I'll accidentally say night night instead of goodbye when I go to hang up the phone. It's an uncomfortably intimate thing to accidentally say to a stranger on the phone. It's even worse if I know the guest was in a different time zone, so it's not even nighttime where they are. I dumped my soda into my food at a restaurant. I poured milk into my cereal box once. Mama didn't raise no quitter. So did you eat the whole box? Early morning on my way to work. Turned into my high school and parked in the student parking lot and started to get out of the car. I was 32. I'm 32 as well, and I study I learned to duck up and use my high school locker combination on my work locker. Then I wonder why it won't open. Yet ask me the combination offhand. I have no idea what it is. I use nail polish remover instead of mouthwash after brushing my teeth. It was awful. Use nail polish remover as a makeup remover for my eyes once. Never again. My nephew has one of those big iPads and takes notes with a stylus. If you tap the stylus, it undoes the last writing. Now when he makes a mistake in pencil, he taps the pencil. After working with art programs for a while, I sometimes attempt Control Z while drawing traditionally. I walked outside and saw a dove. I proceed to go hi cat. I enter my vehicle thinking about how stupid that was and arrive at my So's house. She enters the vehicle and my mouth moves before my brain does, and out comes hi cat. I printed out an essay and then threw it right into the trash. Self-criticism is important. Blew on my ice cream to cool it down. I do that too. Ice cream is way too cold. Blowing on it warms it up since my breath is warmer than the ice cream. Tried to zoom in while reading a book, or just tabbing on the page to keep it from locking. I've tried to literally hit pause on a conversation before because I missed what they said. Even reached my hand out like there was a keyboard in front of me. I went up the barista at Starbucks and said, "Pack of Marlboro Lights." "I'm sorry sir, we don't have that flavor." Went to the washroom at work. Was using the urinal when I suddenly realized that I don't normally see myself in the mirror while peeing. Suddenly realized I was pissing in the sink. I started clapping for myself after my speech in front of an audience because the audience started clapping. LOL. Locked my vehicle and tossed the keys inside before shutting the door. Threw my popsicle on my bed and took a bite of my phone. Put my glasses in the refrigerator. I figured it out when I realized the orange juice was on my bathroom counter. I met my district manager for the first time and was very nervous about it. His name is Craig. My name is not Craig. He introduced himself as Craig and I said, "Hello Craig, I am also Craig." I was wearing my name tag at the time as well. When they say you should mirror your boss, I don't think they meant this. Trying to put the house phone in the refrigerator after hanging up. Put the coffee where the water should go. Then put water in the pot itself and turn the machine on. Pro tip: you can't really smell burnt coffee. Another time I woke up staring at my front door from the outside in my boxers at 7 in the morning without the key. Still don't have a clear picture on what happened and how. I was living alone as well. Can't blame but my own stupidity for this one. I was playing a very intense video game match and during the break period my mom opened my door, and since the door was behind me I was just gonna turn around and ask her what she needed. I turned me character in the game around. A full 180, and had no idea why I couldn't see my mom. I literally mixed up my in-game movement for real life movement. My husband always pushes to talk to me when he's gaming. He forgets that I can hear him without the intercom because I'm in the same room. His gaming buddies always give him crap about it. I take my pants off as soon as I get home from work. My husband had his friend over, and as soon as I walked in I started talking and took my pants off without thinking right in front of the friend. I only realized something was wrong when the friend looked at me and quickly turned away. Busboy for a local restaurant here. Consistently attempt to throw silverware in the trash can and trash in the silverware bin. Luckily we have a magnetic trash can lid that has saved plenty of forks, knives, and probably my job. I used to work a 6 AM shift. I am not a morning person. Spent 3 years at that job and never became one. But 2 times stand out to me. One time my alarm goes off. I roll out of bed, get dressed, ready for work. It's winter so it's pitch black out still. Get out to the car, turn it on. Notice the stereo says 3 something am. It hadn't been my alarm. My phone wasn't on silent for once and it gotten the wrong number call. The other time, I am driving to work, absent-mindedly pat my pocket and don't feel anything. Panic and realize I'd forgotten my keys. So I hang a U-turn, pull back into the apartment parking lot, turn off the car, get back to my front door, and as I am about to unlock my front door, I realize the reason my keys weren't in my pocket was because I was driving and they were in the ignition. Got home from work after a long, difficult shift at work. Usual routine was shoes off at the door, go pee, throw socks into the laundry hamper, wash hands, get started on making dinner. Had a brain fart that day after work, managed to get my shoes off at the door, took my socks off and threw them in the toilet, washed my hands, started making dinner. I didn't realize what I'd done until I was halfway through eating and suddenly felt like my bladder was gonna explode. Found my socks in the toilet bowl and felt like the world's biggest idiot. I'm a dog mom and frequent dog shelter volunteer. I was working in the yard one day and realized how bad my allergies were. I went to take a Benadryl and instead of taking it normally, with water, I stuck the tab on my finger, swiped it in a jar of peanut butter and stuck it to the roof of my mouth. Like a dog, immediately spit it out lol. See, now someone needed to hold your mouth shut and rub your throat and you would have swallowed that pill. Carrying chocolate milk and my phone to the living room. Throw my phone on the couch, except it wasn't my phone. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.